And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, all shapes, colors, and sizes. I'm your host, Thaddeus Ward, here on Game Time with the Guru. I want to welcome all y'all back for another week as I make my weekend football picks for the NCAA College Football Top 25. Last week, I had some ups, had some downs, had some ins, some outs, had some happiness and some disappointments. So basically, I've been enjoying this college football season. And I hope y'all have been enjoying it just as much as I have. Well, last week, ladies and gentlemen, on my top 25 picks, I had a record of 17-3. And the three losses that I had as far as my picks, Notre Dame beat Georgia Tech. I took Georgia Tech over Notre Dame. USC got upset by Stanford. And one game that really kind of left a sore spot to me was Alabama got beat by Ole Miss. But in all due respect, before I even get to how I feel about that game, we're going to start this week off with the first game of Week 4 NCAA College Football. Is number 21 Stanford at Oregon State, Friday, September 25th at 10 p.m. Stanford quarterback in this game, he is still a game time decision to play. If he goes, Stanford will win this game. And if he don't, I think Oregon State will win. And it really won't be an upset. It will only just be because Stanford coming off an emotional high after upsetting number 6 USC last week. But if they can keep their quarterback on the field, I think they can pull this game out. But if Hogan doesn't play, we might want to revisit this. But as of now, based on Hogan playing, I got number 21 Stanford over Oregon State Friday night. And getting into our Saturday, September 26th slate, we got number 20 Georgia Tech at Duke. Both of these teams lost last week. And I want to see which team can bounce back here. I think in this situation, this is Duke's second home game against a formidable opponent, and they want to get a win in front of the home crowd. But I'm still sticking to my earlier season pick of Georgia Tech winning the ACC. So I'm going to take Georgia Tech in this game in a close one. The next game is Southern Jaguars at the Georgia Bulldogs. And this game should be a blowout unless Georgia is looking forward to October 3rd when the Crimson Tide come calling between the hedges. But if they take the time and pay attention to this Southern team, this should be a blowout victory for Georgia. Next game up is BYU, number 22 BYU at Michigan in the Big House. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my first upset. I said at the beginning of the season, there's going to be some games that Jim Harbaugh win that he wasn't supposed to win. This is one that technically he shouldn't win, but I still feel like he was going to surprise a lot of people with his record this year. And don't forget, you heard it here first. I got Michigan picked to upset Ohio State in the last game of the season. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to stay tuned. You need to stay tuned for that. But Michigan upset fashion over BYU. Next game is Central Michigan at Michigan State. Now I expect Michigan State, number 2 Michigan State to roll in that game. Next game is number 8 LSU at Syracuse. And honestly, after watching Leonard Fournette last week, if I could say one word about that guy, I would say unstoppable. But he was unstoppable against an Auburn defense that was missing 4 starters on the defense. So, pump your brakes, LSU fans. I know you want to be put to the top of the SEC pedestal, but there's a lot of football left. So, everybody, moving on. I got Rice at number 5 Baylor. This should be a warm-up for Baylor, just a practice game. Wouldn't look like no more than a scrimmage after the third quarter. Later on in the afternoon, at 3:30 p.m. on the 26th of September, we got Massachusetts at Notre Dame. I'm going to finally pick Notre Dame this week. So anybody been watching and they watched me pick against Notre Dame 2 weeks in a row, and they won in 2 weeks, I'm finally going to pick Notre Dame. I know you're saying, oh, well, yeah, it's like a gimme game. It's Notre Dame. I've seen what they can do in a couple of gimme games. Next game, Western Michigan at number 1 Ohio State. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier, Urban Meyer held a press conference and he announced that Cardell Jones will be his starting quarterback this season, and deservingly so. Anytime you can have a guy come off the pine, win the Big Ten championship game, the semifinal against Alabama, and then the runner-up in the first BCS Bowl tournament, beat Oregon. Hey, that guy should have a chance until he loses to the end of the next season. No knock on Barrett Jones, but everything happens for a reason. Next game on the slate, ladies and gentlemen, we got number 24 Oklahoma State at Texas. Number 24 Oklahoma State is going to win this game at Texas. Charlie Strong's seat is going to be so hot this week. Woo. You know what? All I can say is Oklahoma State. Texas needs to win, but Oklahoma State going to get it. And this is, I haven't seen much from Texas offense this year. And last week, the way they lost, they tied the game up in the last second, and the kicker missed the extra point, and they lost the game. Heartbreaking. But I'm still taking Oklahoma State to win this game at home, on the road at Texas. Saturday, September 26th at 4 p.m., we got Louisiana Monroe at University of Alabama, number 12 ranked University of Alabama. Well, there's no secret. I always let everybody know what's going on with me, and everybody knows if you watch my show. I'm an Alabama fan. Now, I watched this Alabama game Saturday. Now, I picked Alabama to win last week at home against Ole Miss. But if you had called me Tuesday and said, Guru, Alabama gonna have 5 turnovers in that game, I would have changed my prediction to Ole Miss over Alabama. The difference in the game was 6 points. Alabama would basically spot Ole Miss 24 points off turnovers, and the difference in the game to be a fluky, close your eyes and throw it up and hope somebody catch it off the back of the defensive guy head, and the offensive player catches and running there for a touchdown. Whew. Hey, it's a long season, and remember, Alabama lost the same game last year, and we still ended up in the first ever BCS Final Four. But hey, I just want to give you something to stay tuned to the season. Next game on the slate, ladies and gentlemen, at 4:45 p.m., we got Texas Tech at home against number 3 TCU. This game could get interesting. If Texas Tech, they would move the ball the way they did last week in Arkansas, we might have what's called an old-fashioned shootout. But I think TCU's defense is going to be a little bit too much. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I think TCU's defense is going to be the defense that can actually make a stop or a play. And they need to make a play in this game. I got TCU by 10 against Texas Tech. Next game, number 14, Texas A&M at Arkansas. I told everybody at the beginning of the year that by the end of the season, Arkansas was going to be a team to be dealt with in the SEC. They had a loss at home to Toledo, another loss to Texas Tech. I'm not so ready to jump off Arkansas bandwagon, but for this game, I'm going to ride with Texas A&M. So I got number 14, Texas A&M, going to Arkansas and getting a road victory. Next game, I got Vanderbilt at number 3, Ole Miss. And I got Ole Miss winning that game. And if anybody hasn't seen the Kimdichi brothers over there at Ole Miss, you haven't seen what could possibly be the number 1 pick in the draft overall. Not just at defensive tackle. 6'4", 300 pounds with a 4.56 40-yard dash. Woo! Hey, he looked better than any #1 defensive tackle that's been drafted in the first round at defensive tackle I done seen since I've been watching football. And that's saying a lot. But that guy couldn't be. Alabama couldn't block him, couldn't do nothing with him. And by the time the third quarter came, they was just giving him a free release off the line. And he blew up the running back on a lot of the plays. But moving on, ladies and gentlemen, I got number 25 at Missouri. Number 25 Missouri at Kentucky Saturday afternoon. And I got Kentucky in an upset at home against Ole Miss. Missouri beat Connecticut 9-6 last week. I didn't understand what that was about. I was expecting them to score more points offensively against Connecticut. Kentucky coming off a tough loss to Florida. I just look for Kentucky ready to bounce back at home against Missouri Saturday night. Next game on the slate, ladies and gentlemen, we got Ball State at number 17 Northwestern. Northwestern is going to surprise a lot of people in that big team this year. They don't play Michigan State nor Ohio State, and they're ranked number 17 right now. Same Northwest team that beat Stanford early in the year. After I picked Stanford in that game, Northwestern won. Same Northwestern team that went to Duke last week and got a win. So y'all keep an eye on number 17 Northwestern. Next game up is Hawaii at number 22 Wisconsin. I've got Wisconsin in that game. The game of the week, ladies and gentlemen, number 9 UCLA and number 16 Arizona Saturday night. Miles Jack, the two-way player for UCLA, he's out for the season. And it's hard to replace somebody like that. Arizona going to be without Scooby Wright III, the All-American, preseason All-American linebacker. So I guess they kind of cancel each other out. So in this game, I'm gonna take UCLA. Got a freshman sensation at quarterback. And the quarterback for Arizona not too bad either in his sophomore year. But number 9 UCLA is my pick to go on the road and upset number 16 Arizona in a Pac-12 showdown. Next game, we got number 18 Utah at number 13 Oregon. If Oregon can go in, this is a home game for Oregon. If Oregon can score some points quick and get the crowd into it, or keep the Utah defenders in space all night, and this is look like the typical Oregon team, I'm gonna take Oregon. But if Utah smash mouth football, which beat Michigan already this year, if Utah can make it physical, because Stanford struggled with physical teams. Oregon struggled with physical teams. So whoever can impose their will in this game will come out the victor. And since I'm at a fork in the road about this pick, I'm going to take the home team, Oregon, in a close one over number 18 Utah. And the final game on the night for Saturday, September 26th, number 19 Southern Cal at Arizona State. It's Southern California don't put last week's upset loss at home to Stanford behind them and get focused on Arizona State. This is where Arizona State is going to upset Southern Cal. Southern Cal will lose 2 games in a row to unranked teams. So I don't really know how Southern Cal is going to come out after this, how they're going to come out on the field. But I'm also going to take Arizona State at home over number 19 Southern California Saturday night to get the victory. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in this week. And it's been a pleasure being your host, Thaddeus Ward, on Game Time with the Guru. If you have any comments on this week's picks, or you want to compare your picks, you can post them on Twitter at Ward_Thaddeus. You can use my email address, thadward2003@yahoo.com, or you can pick up the phone, dial 10 digits, and talk to me live, 334-464-4402. And once again, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, I hope y'all enjoy the upcoming football weekend. I look forward to it. Hey, a lot of football left, so if your team lost, get over it. Move on to the next week. And this is Thaddeus Ward signing off for Game Time to Go.